Head man for the Blue Devils, Robbie Church, his 24th and his final season as well. What an impact he has left in Durham. So we are underway here at Koskinen Stadium. Missouri and Duke, thanks for joining us on a Thursday evening here in Durham. Already Duke gaining a little bit more of possession. They're content to just continue to kick that back on the back line. This Missouri team for the season has had a battle-tested road. By and large, they've played a tough schedule. Losses to St. Louis and Memphis, but they're coming off their best offensive output of the season, a 5-0 win against SEMO.
And it was much needed and necessary. They had just a couple of goals in the first 4 games, and yeah, the competition was really, really stiff, but we probably should have had one against St. Louis, one that kissed off the top of the crossbar. Unlucky for Simmons.
Duke, on the other hand, is playing perhaps their best soccer in this present match.
Yeah, I mean, coming off of the 1-0 win against Carolina, 5-0 East Tennessee State. They're rolling defensively, they're rolling offensively. What a time to be a Blue Devil.
Anytime you can knock off a rival, if you're a Duke fan, taking down UNC, that's got to feel good. And a 1-0 win over the Tar Heels, who at the time were ranked second in the country. Team still feeling each other out as Duke will hit that on the far flank.
God, Roller's distribution is just something else, isn't it?
She was responsible, chiefly responsible, for that goal against North Carolina as well. Now, there might have been a lucky carom or pinball or two, but at the same time, she was the fulcrum in that play.
You make your own luck. And to put yourself in that position, fantastic pressing, and through on goal, the calmness. Speaking of through on goal.
Almost a chance for the Blue Devils. It's vacuumed up. And they're testing that back line of Missouri early.
Hollenbach, a decisive goalkeeper. She's going to make up her mind. If she's coming off that line, she's coming off of that line. There's no hesitation in her game.
That's a key part of being a goalkeeper. Many people don't realize that if you hesitate for a second, that can be the difference between win, lose, or draw.
Absolutely. Hollenbach, 2022 SEC all-freshman team. She's had 30 starts in her first 2 years. Tonight will be her 19th straight.
13 starts last season, and making a play there to keep this scoreless in the early moments between the Blue Devils and the Tigers. Duke, a top 10 team in the country. They've rattled off 4 consecutive victories as detailed. It's been over 400 minutes since they've given up a goal.
I think it was the manner in which they've won those 4 straight. I mean, when you keep 4 clean sheets in a row and you beat the number 2 team in the country, and the chances just weren't there for Carolina. That defense was locked down.
And that's what you need. You need to have not only a decisive effort, but you need to maybe strike a little fear into your opponents for the future opponents and say, hey, this is how we've been playing recently. We're going to bring it to you. Our defense is going to be solid. We're going to take advantage of the chances. We're not going to give you very many at all. And that's what this Duke team has been up to. They bomb that down the field long, looking for some magic. Graham, who had the game winner against North Carolina. Plays that into the box. No hesitation as that one will continue to roll. A wise play by Hollenbach. And so we'll take a look at that highlight right now by Graham. Just what a beautiful play from the Blue Devils.
Oh, it really was. There's the pinball. You speak of the distribution from Roller on point, but look, this is so easy to mess up. Graham's so calm under pressure. Like, you think, all right, I'm through on goal, the number 2 team in the country. I've got to go fast. No, she takes her time and makes the most of her opportunity.
Is that a coachable trait, or is that something that comes with each player?
I mean, if you get enough reps, eventually you realize that fast is the enemy sometimes, especially if you're through on goal and you're looking for that clean strike. But Graham just, I know she works at it, but she has it too. You have to, and she's done both.
And some of that natural talent that you see with players at the upper echelon levels of collegiate soccer. Oh, Duke another chance, through ball coming. And again, no hesitation, quick off the line. Hollenbach snuffs out a potential Duke strike.
This Missouri team is staying compact in the middle, and Duke just played through them. That's concerning if you're a Tiger.
And Missouri has struggled to possess the ball in the early moments in this match. And Duke's also really had their way when it's come to possession and linking together some of these passes.
Strong.
The one thing on paper that impressed you with this Missouri team, they're strong and they're physical, and they're not going to be afraid to mix it up with Duke.
There's some space. That's one thing that I'm a huge fan of all these players, but Bronner, she came on first start last game, and she finds these nifty little pockets of space. She finds space where there is no space. Oh, I like watching her play.
The talented freshman. As Missouri looks for their first offensive opportunity. The throw-in coming from Missouri.
Missouri plays so well. Their first 30 minutes against St. Louis, I mean, they looked the better team. And that's a top 20 team in the country. And they looked full value for a 1-0 lead going into the half.
Corner kick upcoming for the Tigers. They'll have the matches first. It's disheartening then if you come out of there with a defeat against St. Louis 2-0, when really you played like the better team for a good chunk of it.
It can be, but soccer is like that sometimes. You know, you can play well for 30 minutes, but it's a 90-minute game. What you can take out of that is that, hey, we stuck with a really good team for a really long time. Oh, what a save. We're going to say it's off the bar and no save.
Off the crossbar. It was a well-struck corner kick from Bronner. We'll take one more look.
It's a nice, slightly whipped ball. I think if momentum's not going back, this team can head the ball, though. Missouri gets a ton of goals off the head.
They rattled off 5 against SEMO their last time out. Scored 2 against Missouri State in their win, but also had goals in road losses against Illinois and Miami. And this will continue to be a difficult schedule for Missouri the rest of the way. Arkansas is on the schedule. Alabama, Florida as well, as the Blue Devils will possess further, dominating the time of possession in the early stages in this match.
Waiting to see. Missouri, I thought was going to press a little bit more. I'm looking to see what their triggers are, when they're going to sink that press in.
Duke will reverse fields, go far flank. It seems like they're content to let Duke possess, not putting much pressure at all, and Duke's moving that back line up further.
Maybe that's where they see they've got speed on the wings. Maybe that's where they see the chances over the top.
Opportunity for the Blue Devils with Graham. Serves it in, it's side net. Goal kick upcoming.
Tough when you're trying to wrap your foot around the outside of the ball. If you don't get it just right, that's what happens.
Another goal kick for Mizzou. Duke has had some chances, just the one so far for Missouri. The Blue Devils have kept possession in the Mizzou half of the field for the first handful of minutes.
If Hollenbach's not so brave off of her line, I think we're already seeing a score for Duke.
It's a good point. Already a couple minutes in. She'll be tested once more. Duke gains possession off the goal kick. The throw-in dangerous territory for the Blue Devils.
Did you see that ridiculous speed from Walter? She was up to full speed in 2 steps.
Quick shot, but right at Hollenbach. It may be a busy one for the redshirt junior from Texas. She has been tested early.
She's up to the task for sure. She's quality. Positionally, she's very good.
Blue Devils looking to gain possession once more, and they'll do so. They bring it near side. Probing that midfield, the Blue Devils. Knocked away by Missouri. They've got speed on those wings like you mentioned. See if they try and get it there now, and they do. Throwing upcoming for Missouri. You see the head coach for the Missouri Tigers making her way back to Durham, Stephanie Golan. Head woman in charge of this Mizzou team, as that one will be another goal kick. 2-3-1 on the season. Her Tiger Bunch, as we detailed, have played some good soccer at times, but there's also been some moments where they've let it slip through their fingers.
She was on Coach Robbie Church's first team at Duke in 2001. She was a 5th-year senior with the squad, so it's a bit of a homecoming. And I heard, unconfirmed, that this match was sealed with a promise that Coach Church would buy Coach Golan a Cosmic chicken burrito from Cosmic Cantina.
That seems like a pretty good reason to seal the deal, if you ask me.
And it seems like a very specific rumor that makes me believe it's true.
Unconfirmed, though. We cannot confirm these reports. Well, it's always good to have a homecoming at your alma mater. I'm sure it's a special moment. Of course, Mizzou wants to come out and win the match, but at the same time, what a special, perhaps emotional moment to try and come back to Durham.
Did bring that up in our call with Coach Galan, and she says it's going to be tough, but I'm going to hate him for 2 hours. I'm going to want to beat him off the field for 2 hours, and I'm going to go back to loving this university. So
the sign of a good competitor. That's
really
what you want out of your head coach.
Oh, she's a fantastic coach. She's a fantastic. I wanted to play for her at the end of our call. I was like, where can I go, coach? And she's like, back up to the booth.
Get this man on a flight to Como. Blue Devils thinking of striking once more. They've had some chances. Scrum for it.
Nice defending.
And Missouri able to shepherd it out of bounds. Last touch by Duke.
That's that strength we were talking a little bit about. Oh, just a nice little strong bit of defending. Jessica Larson's fun to watch, isn't she?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, this Missouri team, they are physical, like you mentioned. And Duke will have to try and adjust to that. It's an interesting blend of physicality and speed for Mizzou. And Duke, they're technically sound, very defensive savvy. Is that streak, shutout streak, we should say, is over 400 minutes now? It
is officially over.
That's right.
We were rounding up just a little bit. It was, what was it, 394 and change?
395.48. Not that we're counting, of course. We can round that to 396 before the match started. And now, with over 4 minutes elapsed, of course, it's north of 400 minutes. And that's an eye-popping total when you really try and break it down. The last goal that was scored against them, the opening match of the season in Columbus against Ohio State, a 1-0 loss.
Bit of a fluke goal, too, if we're being honest. Just uncharacteristic play on the Duke back three. Just didn't see the lurking defender who seized upon the opportunity.
Play on from the official, some contact right near the box. The fluke goals are the ones that, like you said, that's sometimes how soccer goes. Doesn't make you feel much better, but it still hurts.
Ooh, this is a good chance. Oh.
Blocked right at the 6-yard box. And cleared out by Mizzou. A throw-in upcoming for Duke.
Kutella got it just right. Right place, right time. The center of that back three for the Tigers. Boy, she saved what could have been dangerous. Oh, that was on target, too.
It was off the body, and it would have been a difficult save for Hollenbach. Duke will retain possession. Not much pressure coming from the Tigers, but you're exactly right. That's on frame. It's going to be challenging. Hollenbach wondering, when are these constant offensive assaults, when are they going to stop? As Duke, through the first handful of minutes, has possessed with aplomb.
Missouri State so compact, really packing in, not wanting the attacking midfielders of Duke to tell them how they're going to play. Oh, this is a nifty ball.
Played into the box, contact. A play on from the officials. Blue Devil crowd wanted the foul. The resulting penalty kick, they won't get it.
I wouldn't mind seeing it again. I'm okay with a no call there. For me, if it happens in the middle of the pitch, I'm not calling that. It wasn't a whole lot of contact in it.
Tried to sneak it through the defense. Almost able to do so. Lays it off, and another save. Hollenbach, exceptional between the pipes today so far.
That's a tough one to see through the crowd. Down to her right, quick for a big goalkeeper like that. They're going to take a look. A second look at this contact. Yeah, kind of hooks the foot, doesn't it?
He stepped on that cleat. Is it enough to warrant the call? It was a challenging touch. The ball was flying the other direction, but at the same time, you can't hook someone's foot like that.
I revert what I said before, where I didn't think it was.
Has instant replay changed your mind at all? That's the true question.
I think, well, it doesn't matter what I think. I'm not wearing orange. I'm not on the pitch. It's, even still, I don't know that it's, I mean, it's not a ton of contact. It is contact, though. And it, imagine having to make this call. I've gone back and forth 4 times.
That's right. It's a challenging call, and it's a tough time to be an official. We take another look. I mean, there's no doubt that there's contact. It's the plant foot It's just clipped. And you heard the crowd react immediately. Mizzou, of course, crossing their fingers that there won't be a penalty kick, especially after they dodge danger once more.
An entirely unbiased crowd that
That's
had
correct.
The reaction, correct?
Just a handful of fans wearing the blue and white. So
it's a good crowd for a Thursday at Koskinen, isn't it?
Unquestionably. A lot of fans in attendance, making their presence known, as you heard on the broadcast with that no call in the box originally.
I knew they were unhappy. My Apple Watch said that the ambient noise reached a peak above 90 decibels and told me to get to a quieter environment.
Well, that's certainly the case then. This crowd making their presence known. A great crowd on hand for Duke and Missouri. Mizzou 2-3-1 overall. Blue Devils have won 4 consecutive, 4-1-0. Battled off win after win after that loss to Ohio State. They'll continue to look at this. And here's a different look.
We got no penalty.
It's a fantastic ball.
Penalty, no penalty.
No penalty! Are you kidding?
So it appears the officials have come to a consensus, and they will stick with the call on the field. There will be no penalty.
Coach Church didn't like it.
No.
I can kind of get where he's coming from, if we're being honest with each other.
This is the classic lose-lose situation. One coach is going to be upset here regardless.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, that unbiased crowd makes their displeasure known.
It'll be a drop ball right back for Hollenbach. What a save down to her right. We kind of glossed over that because we were thinking, oh, penalty, right? No. Not according to the man in the middle in the orange.
That's correct, and Missouri will look to regroup. Duke continue their momentum. Looking to do so here. Warded off the defender for a moment. Mizzou possesses. Batted out and bombed right near the midfield. And just gave that one back to the Blue Devils.
It may work out. It didn't work out. But having just a little bit of patience is so key in this matchup. Duke, you're not going to get a lot of chances against them. They are defensively sound, and so you have to take care of the ball when you get it.
That may go back to what you were saying earlier. You're playing in a big match. If you're Missouri, things may speed up for you. Think back to that UNC Duke situation when Graham scored the goal. Things were slowing down for her. Mizzou might need that moment where they say, hey, everything's going to be fine. We have to slow down a little.
We haven't seen Freeman much. Now, she's very good at it. But sometimes a keeper who has gone 65 minutes, 0 action, well, you've checked out. You're starting to think about whether Uber Eats delivers after 11. You know, start things like that.
Played into the box, uncontested. Going back once more. And she's a good distance outside that box as well. It's another one of those moments where if Mizzou can really counter quickly with that speed on the wings, she's going to have to be quick back into the box.
Scanning the pitch. I'm watching Freeman right now. Just scan the pitch. Kind of moving her defense around, making sure there's no wide threats. Yeah, she's not thinking about Uber Eats. She's locked in. She is locked in.
That's the difference between you and I suppose, and the top tier of some of these keepers. I also would be on that Uber Eats train.
And that's probably just the only difference, is really
that's right.
Our ability to be distracted by food.
That's correct. No, I'm sure there's no goalkeeping skill difference. I'm confident there is, of course.
If that ball checks up, oh, unfortunate for Duke.
Overcooked the touch. It has been busy for Hollenbach. She gets another goal kick and a substitution made for Mizzou.
Oh. She was injured against Miami. So to see her back, she didn't play at all against SEMO. That's fantastic for Missouri.
Big substitution that comes in roughly 16, 17 minutes into this match.
She's a difference maker. 2 of the first 4 goals of the season were scored by Fisher.
Perhaps Missouri trying to leverage that offense a little bit more.
Oh, this is dangerous.
Flag is up.
Less dangerous now.
Quite dangerous at the time. Offsides on the Blue Devils. But again, it seems like just a couple of passes and Duke's able to make runs on the far and near side of the pitch. It's been no problem for them to try and create these opportunities.
And the official got it right just a half step early, and given the blazing pace of Walters, you know, you can actually give a half yard and still be the first to the ball.
We talked about the top-tier speed of some of these Blue Devil players. Another instance there, but this time to their detriment.
If you looked up rapid in the dictionary, I feel like Walters would be the picture.
I could see that as well. I'll have to get my Webster out at halftime. Foul on Mizzou. Free kick coming for the Blue Devils.
Is that the first foul of the match?
Believe so. Clean match so far. We certainly know there wasn't one in the box earlier.
We've looked at it enough.
You ask Robbie Church about it, he'll tell you.
He's such a good coach. He'll be like, well, I disagreed, but it is what it is.
A nice diplomatic answer.
Oh, he's the best.
His 24th and final season in Durham. Missouri with it. Not a clean touch, able to keep it in for a moment. Duke will take it the other direction.
Oh.
They play it into the box. Masterful touch. Chance for the Blue Devils. Blocked once. Lays it off. A terrific save. How about that from Hollenbach? She is everywhere.
Hollenbach extending to her left and gets that meaty right hand up. Slaps it away at the last moment. That's a shot that deserves a goal. What a save. Oh, that's a shot that deserves a goal, and that's a save that you've got to put on the top 10.
Corner upcoming for Duke. Got a head on it, bouncing around, dangerous for the Tigers. Bicycled out, recycled possession for the Blue Devils. After a terrific save from Hollenbach. They cross it in. Got a head on it. Chance for Duke right at the net, and they score. Too many chances for the Blue Devils. They lead 1-0.
And that's a fantastic finish by Maggie Graham. Just like against Carolina, a composed finish in front of net. There's so many ways that you can try to rush it and mess it up. Oh, it's so pure. That's a fantastic distribution. The header across the box makes it all happen. And just clinical at the end.
Hollenbach had been tested all throughout the early stages of this match, and she met her match when Graham puts one right near that far post. Impressive stuff from Duke. Strung together a couple of passes, headers in that box, and they lead 1-0.
Hollenbach's done a lot, and that one just wasn't meant to be. Graham's been knocking on the door. She's had 3 unbelievable shots.
Duke will look for more as they bring it across the midfield. And you have to give credit, of course, to Hollenbach with the terrific save just a moment before. Could have been avoiding that danger instead. Missouri allows a goal, and now the uphill climb begins. This Blue Devils team has not allowed a goal again in over 400 minutes. It was nearly 400 entering this match. And nearly 20 minutes chewed off the clock. Has gone north of that 400-minute threshold, and now Missouri will have to get that equalizer in difficult fashion.
And the only thing they have to do is something that the previous 4 teams failed at. That's all.
Easy as that. Cracking a tough back line with the terrific keeper in Freeman. Dissecting the defense. Duke with a counter opportunity, let that through. Mizzou quick to take it away. Duke has done a good job at possession. First 20-plus minutes of this match. It's led to quality opportunities, a busy day for Bella Hollenbach, and a 1-goal lead. Graham, who had the game winner against North Carolina, has already scored in this one. Another opportunity. Graham lays it off, almost got it back. Lynch with it. She plays it in, deflected, and it'll take a Duke spin for a corner. You see, again, Coach Church in his 24th and final season. And And the head man of this Blue Devil program, July 9th, 2001, become a national powerhouse. They have a 1-0 lead tonight. Another opportunity for Duke, cleared out by Mizzou. Here is Graham, just took the corner. Plays it off with too much pace on it. This opportunity goes by the wayside, but another encouraging one for Duke. Substitution comes in for the Blue Devils.
So Chava, the junior out of California, UCLA transfer. That's one thing. Duke has some transfers, but they play like a team that's been together for 3, maybe 4 years.
Is that tough to try and hammer down that chemistry when you have a couple new faces coming in every year? Even if they're not freshmen, you bring in some upperclassmen that you know could be fixtures, mainstays in the starting 11.
Absolutely, because it's a person who has a completely different playing style. I don't know where you're going to be, and we'll figure that out, but usually not this early. We're only, this is the 6th match of Duke's season, and they look like they're right in the middle of conference form, and that's unbelievable.
Played into the box, good touch by Duke, deflected. Another corner kick for the Blue Devils. Outswinger upcoming for the Blue Devils. Yet another corner kick, already up to their 3rd. We saw Duke score on a set-piece opportunity. It was Maggie Graham, 5th year, from Atlanta, Georgia, putting one in the back of the net. This one played in. Missouri gets ahead on it. Tigers batting it around, looking to move in transition. Duke plays it back. Blue Devils not done with this chance. They'll slow play it, probe the defense, packed in right near that box for Mizzou. A fortuitous bounce will continue the possession. Cross into the box. Head put on it. That ball will bounce. And Hollenbeck, who's been aggressive so far, instead let that one bounce right near that out-of-bounds line.
That was a very physical and very good challenge to hold the ball in Duke's possession by Chico.
A foul right near the box. This will be a quality set-piece opportunity. One more look at this foul. Blue Devils a chance to get that 2nd goal.
Yeah, it's a Ford's challenge. Came in late. It's the right call. Cards in the pocket. I'm good with that too.
Missouri having to be careful. Don't want to give up a 2nd goal in the early stages of this first half. They'll test again. The redshirt junior Bella Hollenbeck. He has been tested early and often in today's match. Off the set piece and a beauty.
No.
Duke does it again from the set pieces. 2-0.
Croft. Oh, what a shot. Wicked little left foot curler. There's nothing to be done about it besides shake your head. I mean, Hollenbach, what are you going to do? That's just picture perfect.
That's over the top of the wall, found its way right near the side netting. The Blue Devils are firmly in control.
That ball is so hard to get up over the wall, so hard to bring back down underneath the crossbar, and then to tuck it into the side netting, that's a little silly.
And like you said, nothing that Hollenbeck could do. By and large, she's played well through the first 25 minutes. She's had some difficult chances to deal with.
It very well could be 4-0 Duke right now on the quality of shots that she's seen. 4 of those, 2 of them shouldn't have been saved if we're being honest with each other. Fantastic saves, both of them.
Her 2nd save in particular made that quick drop down to the hip. It was good stuff, but it's 2-0 Duke. They continue to put their foot on the gas. Not satisfied with the 2-0 lead. Probing that Tiger defense further. Crossed into the box. Tigers get a foot on it. They'll look to move in transition, but it's over the head of each and every Tiger out there.
That's the moment where you need to have just a little bit of composure. You got to find one of your forwards. Let them hold the ball up. Get out of that pressure. That's the most necessary thing right now for Missouri. Get away from the pressure. Hold a bit of possession. Find your footing in this matchup.
We're going for Selm, and she was 10, 15 yards away from that shot.
Some good defending by committee.
Mizzou looking to enter the attacking third. Opportunity that's rejected and sent the other way. Is there a way to crack this back line and try and get a couple of goals if you're Missouri? It's so challenging to score against Duke already. But what is really the secret, if there is one, to trying to sneak one past, build a little confidence?
I think you got to hold your width. And when you have the ball, you have to hold possession, hold some width, try to spread out the back two. Oh, what a shot.
Another opportunity. That was a yard or so away from a 3-0 lead.
A couple crosses in to finish answering your question. Oh, just a curler that never curled. Unlucky a bit, but man, this Missouri net under siege.
Might have used up all their luck on that prior set piece opportunity. Plenty of curl on that one.
Yeah, I think it borrowed some from that next shot, didn't it?
That's right.
What a ball.
Although that's a trade you'll make any day of the week if you can guarantee a goal. Duke winning another 50-50 ball. Mizzou regains possession.
That's better. Good. Oh, it's a good idea. Just didn't come off. It's a good idea. Try to go against the defender's momentum. But man, these defenders are so agile for Duke.
It feels like they're in position no matter where they need to be on the pitch. They're always ready for what's going to come.
That was a good little bit of possession from Missouri. You can build on that.
Duke strings some passes together. Plays it in. Blue Devils open that ball. Will stay in bounds. They've had a couple that have had too much pace. Just a little overcooked. And again, those are chances that if there's nobody down there, they have a real opportunity to score as more substitutions cycle in.
Everybody on this Duke team can score. The back line, as you see, Cam Roller up there with 2 goals, tied for second on the team. That's your defense that's out there. She is such a set-piece threat. On a corner, on a free kick, Cam Roller in the air is nearly unparalleled.
Is it a bigger challenge coming from that back line, scoring a couple times, if you need to get back into position quickly? How does that go if you're Cam Roller?
If you're Cam Roller, that's just what you do on a Thursday. That's just part of what you're able to do. Fantastic speed, and your team needs that ability in the air. And twice already this season, she's found the back of the net, and if that's what your team needs, it's a lot more fun to win 2-0 than it is to tie 0-0 and split the points.
Rating ACC Defensive Player of the Week. Duke again knocking off UNC in a 1-0 victory where she was chiefly responsible for putting the only ball in the back of the net. Hitting that downfield to Maggie Graham.
And I think it was a full value for the win. Duke looked like they deserved all 3 points.
As you said, soccer is a strange game sometimes. That's not always the case, but if you feel like you win, you get those 3 points. That's one of the biggest upsides, as handball will go back to Duke.
I think I'm going to say what we're all thinking. Handball rules are so weird. That one was, at least it made sense. Hand in an unnatural position, right? What is unnatural? And that's because it was up and making the defender unnaturally larger.
You like to think that the rules would be black and white by and large, but this is kind of the gray area, so to speak, when it comes to refereeing, officiating a match like this.
Well, the beautiful thing about art, and they call it the beautiful game, is that there is interpretation.
Duke gets ahead on it. Mizzou will clear it.
Flag up.
And an offsides on the Blue Devils.
Sorry, my big noggin was in the way. I was leaning forward to see what was going to happen next.
Line judge was right near the flag nearly. About 30 minutes elapsed in half number 1. Blue Devils with a pair of goals today. Maggie Graham getting the first. The Duke offense has dominated Missouri. 10 shots to 1 so far, 3-1 in favor of Duke when it comes to corners. The Tigers with a quality chance here. This one smacked right at Freeman. She's able to deflect that shot. And the first true offensive chance for Missouri. And Duke defense tightening up again.
That was nice, and then you had both fuels coming on. A power shot. I've seen those get through. But to not only control the rebound, to jump right back on top of it. Oh, Freeman's such a good keeper. I said she's one of the best keepers in the country, and I think I have underrated her.
They'll look to test Freeman once more. And Duke will regain possession. Tigers did have that one opportunity, but there's been very few and far between, as you see the Freeman file so far, saving 90% of her shots. Impressive total. One of the best keepers in the nation. Captaining that Duke back line, that Duke defense. Over 400 scoreless minutes as well. And we talked pregame. You need to have a keeper that can see the whole field, as you mentioned. So important, but communicating is also one of the most important parts for Freeman.
She scans, she sees, she recognizes, and her ability to get her defense to play the ball to this side. Let's go swing it quick. And they hear and they trust. That trust is so hard to build sometimes. So you know that it's real when you see it here, because it can break so quick. They've done such a fantastic job with it.
That goes back to those transfers, those fresh faces, newcomers. You bring those into the mix. It's not always easy to get them acclimated to what the defense is going to look like, what the scheme is going to look like. And again, part of that falls on the keeper. And Freeman doing a terrific job. Again, just the one goal all season allowed back in the opening match against Ohio State and Columbus. A 1-0 defeat, lone blemish on the resume for Duke. They've rattled off 4 straight wins. In strong position to make it 5 if they can put their foot further on the gas against Mizzou.
Olays from the crowd.
Duke stringing together some passes, looking to rip it into the box. They lose possession. Good idea, good opportunity. Mizzou looking to counter. Speed on the wings.
Chico read that so well. Just spotted the danger, was right there to head it off.
Blue Devils a counter of their own, taking a deep shot. 25-30 yards away. It's over the frame. But a nice idea after some back and forth possession.
It's a shot Sonacheva can hit. And the defense sagged off of her to play the pass. You have to take that shot, I think. It didn't go the way you wanted it to, but you have to say, if you're going to give me space, I'm taking the shot. You have to come out to me. That'll open up the passing lanes.
It's another one of those great opportunities that Duke has had so many of today. There's the chances that haven't been converted.
Look how quick they play with the ball at their feet. 1-2 touch passing. Oh, it's so much fun to watch.
Mizzou will regain possession for a moment. Duke gets it back. 2 touches and another quick pass. Blue Devils fast with it. Graham sidesteps one, now 2 Tigers. Missouri holding that line right at the 18-yard box. Duke trying to crack the code for a 3rd time. That's played in, and again, too much pace put on it. Seen a handful of those today. Blue Devils can't convert. There's been so many chances, so many what-if chances that Missouri, as you said earlier, they could be down 4-0 in this one.
It's a good idea. I like the idea. We're essentially switching the point of attack, and we're putting a ball in behind all at the same time. It's really, really incisive. And to spot that run, it's impressive. And I think when she saw the run just a little bit, maybe a little bit too quick. That's the danger of playing quick. Sometimes it's a fine line between quick and accurate and just quick.
Duke moving quickly once more. Clean tackle, says the official. And Mizzou gets it back.
Dangerous situation. Captain had to get it right, and Cutella did just that.
Duke will get it back once more. They have been living on this Missouri side of the field. This pitch has been dominated by Duke so far. Bringing that back line all the way into the midfield, across into the Missouri half. They've been unafraid to possess and trust that back line.
The last time this back line let a goal in, I was just a wee lad, so I would trust them too.
Here's an opportunity for Duke again. Quick passing in the box. Blue Devils looking for a cross. It results in the fourth corner.
Selm getting a leg across, stopping that ball in. You got to stop the supply. And now to defend the set piece. Roller coming up. Keep an eye on number 7.
B-Bar will take the corner. Fourth for the Blue Devils. They've scored twice off set pieces today. Outswinger comes into the box. Good looking ball. And it's headed away by Mizzou.
I knew it, you knew it, Mizzou knew it. So they got the ball away. But Roller's such a target in there. Nearly got on it. Everyone knew where the ball was coming.
A tall target, a strong target like that where you can get ahead on it. As you mentioned, a couple of goals on her resume this year. Good target to look for, and Mizzou is not out of the woods just yet. They avoided the imminent danger, got it out of the box, but Duke is continuing their offensive output.
Groff and Chico have been flawless this evening. Chico specifically has been physical on her side of the pitch.
Another chance for Duke, rushing right to it. Hollenbach, no hesitation. That results in another opportunity denied.
Fearless keeping, coming out, throwing yourself at the cleats. Oh, that is brave. And it's excellently done. So much can go wrong. Never a hesitation. That's why it's successful.
Blue Devils in transition. Continuing to put the pressure on the redshirt junior Belen Hollenbach. 6 minutes to play in half number 1 at Koskinen Stadium. Mizzou and Duke, SEC ACC midweek showdown. Blue Devils have scored 4 consecutive victories, looking to make it 5, and they're in position to do so in the closing moments in half number 1. And you talked about Chico as well. She's been so quick in a lot of her reads. Anytime that Mizzou has had a chance, they haven't had very many, of course, but she's been very crisp and decisive as well. Turnover as Mizzou looks for something.
Again, as Chico just gumming up that run, delaying enough to get that ball across into touch.
(11-2) in favor of Duke when it comes to shots. 5-1 shots on goal. It has been one-sided on the offensive end today in favor of Duke. There's no doubt about it. Blue Devils without a foul as well, so they've played a clean match up to this point.
Possession stats have got to be a little silly.
Interested to know the exact totals. And Duke is practically camped out. They've lived, and then Missouri attacking third. Another chance, cross into the box. Good stop, shot put on Hollenbach, and it finds the back of the net. That might have pinballed off a defender. Regardless, Duke has scored again.
And that's Minestrella. What a job coming off of the bench, hitting a fantastic, got the goalie going the wrong way. Hollenbach coming back to the middle of the goal, takes an extra step. Just gets wrong-footed back to her left, can't get there in time. I don't think it takes a deflection. I think it's just a late spot from Hollenbach thinking she's going to go far post because that's where the majority of goal was, but Estrella's just a wicked player, isn't she?
Estrella will put Duke up 3-0. That spin on that ball, so hard to read, and as you said, you would expect that to be to the far side. Perhaps that's why they scored.
That might be the first bit of a misstep. I think just didn't see it, went off what I would have done too, which was an assuming, hey, you're going to go to the large side of the goal.
Blue Devils firmly in control. 12-2 shot advantage. 6-1 shots on goal. They lead 3-0 against a Mizzou team coming off their best offensive output, 5-0. Blue Devils not satisfied. A left-footed strike off the crossbar. Another tremendous touch and splendid strike.
Hollenbach's got the save on that too. She pushes it up onto the bar. That ball dipping down. It's going to catch under the bar. That's a goal if she doesn't intervene. Look at that one touch on the right, left foot diving down. Oh, good job. Boy, Estrella's fun to watch, isn't she?
There's no doubt about it.
Oh, what a wicked player. Just a wicked left foot.
Nearly got the brace in a matter of moments. That's headed over the crossbar and out of play. And Duke is still keeping their foot on the accelerator. They're not content with this 3-0 lead at the moment. They want to try and really drive home the point.
42 minutes gone. I've got to say, this is some of the most expansive soccer I've seen in college women's soccer. I don't know how long. It is the 1-2. It's a bit tiki-taka. It's a bit total football. I love everything about it. This is fun football to watch.
They're putting on a clinic, Duke is so far, and there's no doubt about it.
I would sign up for that clinic because this is beyond enjoyable.
Learn from the masters. There is a masterful performance unfolding here at Koskinen Stadium. Duke with that 3-0 lead, the closing moments of half number one. Not content with that gaudy edge on the scoreboard so far.
There's Freeman with the distribution, and it's nearly spot perfect. It's a tough one. I get it. So, do you come up and try to take that first touch on the bounce? No, you want to step back, try to bring it down. Unlucky is what that is.
Well, Duke gets it back. Under 2 minutes to play in half number one. See if they can net what would be an impressive fourth goal in the first half. They'll take their time, perhaps making this one of the last valuable offensive opportunities for either side.
Iraqi in for the Tigers. She is a one-person press. So if anybody can make this Duke back three into a mistake, Iraqi's got my vote.
Mizzou hoping for some semblance of offensive momentum as the half begins to close, but it's Duke again. Crossed into the box, and that one is an own goal for Missouri.
It's a great cross, and it's absolutely unlucky. Unlucky for Missouri. This breaks my heart.
Hollenbach, you saw as you take a look at the replay, she was diving for it, and they were just trying to avoid danger. It was past her outstretched arms, and then disaster hit.
I think a fingertip on it and pushes it onto the foot of her defender who, I mean, from 3 feet out, she's not going to miss that, is she?
Just angled that cleat in the wrong direction, and Duke has a suffocating 4-0 lead, an own goal, some friendly fire. Gives the Blue Devils a commanding advantage as we approach halftime. 70 seconds to play.
That was a whipped ball. I mean, just absolutely blasted through the six. And that's why you put those balls in, even if you don't have a runner, because anything can happen.
And mayhem struck for the Tigers. They've been outshot 15-2, 7-1 shots on goal so far. Possession has been thoroughly one-sided. The Blue Devil faithful here at Koskinen Stadium have been treated to an offensive clinic, albeit with an own goal. It still shows up, of course, on the scoreboard, but Duke has looked every bit the better team through this first half.
Patel has blocked a couple of shots. You've had Hollenbeck, who's made 2 top-drawer saves. I think Missouri giving a good accounting, but man, this Duke team, how are they out of the top 25 at any point?
Well, there's no doubt that they will be perhaps moving up further in the polls after this dominant effort against Missouri. The final seconds ticking off the clock. A 4-0 lead for the Blue Devils at halftime. A clinic from Duke and this Robbie Church-led program. Other thoughts from this?
What, 3 halves of soccer? This Duke team is a problem for the ACC. Unless you're a Duke fan, in which case it is a blessing. But if you're not a Duke fan and you're a fan of another team in the ACC, they are a problem.
And now they're approaching nearly 450 minutes of shutout soccer. It was nearly 400 minutes coming into the match. They have continued where they left off. We'll see how offensively aggressive the Blue Devils are.
Looks like a 3-4-3 defensively for Missouri coming out of the half.
What's their hope if you're Missouri going forward? Of course, it's going to be exceptionally challenging to, of course, score 1 goal, but as many as Duke racked up in that first half, what's the take-home point for the Tigers in this second half of play?
I'm locking down. I'm not letting them play through me. If they want to play over me, around me, fine. They're not going to play through me. And I will press. Ooh. Yeah. Official rightly blowing the whistle. I mean, player safety of paramount concern, and that's well called.
Walters was on hands and knees for a moment. She's up under her own power.
It's a blast of a clearance, and I mean, Walters, not the counter press that you're trying to do. Oh, unintentional, just Missouri trying to clear the ball out. Walters jogging off the field. You love to see that.
Quick assistance from the trainer. She looks to be okay. Never a bad thing. Get checked out a little more, perhaps. And especially in a match where you're leading 4-0, there's not a need to press some of your best players into action if they're not truly fit.
You want to get them on the pitch. You know, to maintain that fitness, you need to get a certain amount of pitch time. So if Walters can go, you want her to go, and she's way back on the pitch. But Minestrella, certainly, she would come on if Walters came off. She's already got a goal tonight. I'm sure she wouldn't mind a brace.
Third goal of the match she netted. Of course, that fourth one coming in the 44th minute. An own goal for Mizzou on a screaming cross, bottom part of the box. Fancy footwork, lefty cross in, head on it. It's all Blue Devils at Koskinen. 5-0 in favor of Duke.
Everything's right about that, isn't it? I mean, Haas getting down the line, wraps the left foot around the ball. Nice little bit of one-on-one, getting around. It's pinpoint perfect, the cross. The only thing you can do with it is let it go home. And that's exactly what happens. Maggie Graham with her second. Was that Graham? Now check that. That was Beamer, wasn't it?
That's right. It was Bibar who was credited with the goal.
I should have known. Graham already has one. You can't.
Got to spread the love.
Yeah, that's what this Duke team does so well. So dangerous from so many different places on the pitch. Who do you lock down? Everybody? Where to be that easy? The offside flag's been the only thing to stop Duke tonight.
They've been clean with the fouls, the occasional offsides.
Hollenbeck saves, I mean, 2 top drawer saves. But, whoa, this Duke team is... I'm not scared because I'm enjoying this performance. But if you're an ACC coach, you got to be looking at this going, I mean, come on.
They're unrelenting.
That's a great word.
every single time they're ready to put another teammate in position to score. And that's a rare giveaway. Blue Devils will go for another. Why not a sixth? Weaving through Tiger defenders. Cleared out for a moment. Mizzou regains possession. That one's booted down. Some activity for the netminder Freeman. Otherwise, Duke has put on a clinic with possession. The official stats had it about 68% possession. You and I both believe it could be an uptick or two higher.
Yeah. I mean, as somebody who watched the first half, I would say that I don't think that that's not to. I mean, there's a statistician out there going, it's exactly right, right? You're probably right. It didn't feel that way. Why don't we say that?
And there's no doubt that Duke did a tremendous job possessing. It certainly felt more than that near 70% threshold. And Duke will continue to pick and choose their spots with a commanding lead, in position to pick up their 5th win in as many tries. They had that loss to Ohio State in the opener. One thing I found a little gutsy in the crowd down here, we have a fan in Ohio State hoodie down there in the stands. Going into enemy territory, that's always a gutsy play.
That's bulletin board material.
That's right. That's right.
A motivator. Pass on the ball is absolutely terrifying.
Played in a corner upcoming.
Bounce back off a Haas. How unlucky. Fantastic cross. Good defense.
So goal kick upcoming.
Oh, then you think about what could have been with Kat Rader.
2022 ACC Freshman of the Year. All ACC second team twice as well. And you're exactly right. This is an impressive output in clinical soccer, despite not having one of your best players out there on the pitch.
There are 2 players that I expected into the starting lineup that are out for extended periods of time. With Rader, that's out for the season. She's such a brilliant offensive player. She's great with the ball at her feet. She's an engine that can make things happen moving forward. You imagine this team is every bit of a Maserati. You put the engine that is Kat Rader into that Maserati, and we're just doing donuts in the parking lot. That's all we're doing.
I'd be doing donuts in the parking lot with a Maserati as well. I can relate to that.
Absolutely. But this, we talked to Coach Church, and he's very said, look, we've had the injuries. Everybody has injuries. That's the nature of the sport. It's the next player up mentality. And you hear that a lot about the coaches. But these players, I mean, if you're watching it tonight, they believe it.
So the Blue Devils with 18 goals this season in 6 matches so far. It had 15 goals in 16 matches a season ago. So it's been a dazzling offensive display for the Blue Devils in this 24th season under head man Robbie Church. Chance to make it another one. That one's off the crossbar and dives in. Oh my! It nicks that crossbar. And it has been all Blue Devils. They can do no wrong.
That's a certified banger of a goal. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Oh, just a little back and forth. Gets it onto the left foot. Curler kissing off the crossbar and in. Oh, fully extended Hollenbeck. Nothing to be done. Oh, what a goal.
They may run out of things to give away here.
I'm running out of
Stadium.
words to describe the quality of these goals. I'm going to download a thesaurus onto my smartphone because that was a magisterial goal.
The quality of chances for Duke, unmatched. They have been terrific, not only putting in some impressive strikes like so, but possessing, defending. It has been a full and complete effort for Duke Their foot is still on the accelerator. Chance for another. Could it be a 7th? Shakes the defender. A lefty strike too tall.
I don't like the way the Missouri player fell.
And she is in some pain. We saw the quick injury for Duke earlier. Ball to the head. Nothing too serious. This one has the makings, perhaps, of something a little more serious, and just getting caught up a little bit in the feet.
Oh. We saw it from that angle. That's unpleasant to say the least. Oh, it breaks your heart. I'd be okay to not ever see that one again.
Yeah. It's going to hurt no matter what, and you hope that she's able to get off the pitch under her own power, if not, able to have a quick and speedy recovery. You never want to see someone get hurt, especially on a tough play like that.
There are 2 times that I get concerned. It's when the fall looks awkward, and that was the case there. The second is when it's not. It's a fall like that under no contact, and there wasn't really. It was attempted change of momentum. There wasn't any contact, so those are the 2 times I get concerned.
They always talk about those non-contact injuries, really throughout sports. Those are the most deadly, the most dangerous. And Mizzou hoping that this will not be a long-term injury, of course. It has been all Duke today at Koskinen Stadium, 6-0. One did come on friendly fire from Missouri, a 44th minute own goal, but otherwise it has been a surgical effort by this Blue Devil team.
Coach Golan, not the homecoming she had imagined. We talked with the Missouri head coach before the matchup, and she had some fantastic memories of her time at Duke, and specifically that 5th year she took with Coach Church and Coach Lassane, the assistant coach. They were coming out first time that Coach Church was going to coach the Duke team against Carolina. And Coach Golan says she remembers Coach Church had a hat on, and that was uncharacteristic. Well, one of the nervous habits of Coach Church is he has his hands in his pockets and then he'll run them through his hair. What had happened before the matchup was a pen had broken in his pocket, so he'd put blue streaks all through his hair. Team didn't know that, thought he was just really into the spirit of things. And there's Shania Spriggs.
Not putting any weight on that right leg.
Fingers crossed for a quick and speedy recovery.
She'll be helped off with the assistance of some of the athletic trainers. Yeah, you see that, you might think, hey, he's really into this match today. He's got the blue streaks in his hair. He's ready to go.
He came clean. He said, nah, pen broke in my pocket. I didn't have time to get it fixed, get it washed out, so hat went on. It was dark blue streaks through the hair.
It's almost lucky it was a blue pen and not a green or red pen. Then you're thinking, what's going on over here?
Yeah. One thing that Coach Church does have, he grew up in Greensboro, is a very distinct Southern accent. I think it's a very Greensboro accent. And Coach's first time, Carla Overbeck coaches the back line usually, but this time he had some pearls of wisdom that he wanted to impart. And so Coach Golan said, well, he was telling us what we thought was stop, so we'd stop, and he'd get mad. Found out he was saying step. It was just a very Southern step, so it was a bit of a
Southern step, yes.
Lost in translation moment.
Lost in translation with the Southern drawl, the dialect.
But I think one thing that I've noticed is the fantastic relationship he has with so many of his players, and you can see it at their alumni events is how many people turn up to these alumni dinners, to these alumni games that they have. The attendance, it's like unlike any other school.
Duke knocking on the door again, side net. And that can do wonders for a program to infuse new players and new recruits. You see what that alumni base has with some of those former players. They take playing for the blue and white so seriously, as there will be a change in net. Phillips will come in for Missouri. That's just so big for a program. It can continue to make yourself a fixture in a very difficult ACC year in and year out.
This will be a good look at the number 2 keeper out of Fisher, Indiana, the sophomore. One of 3 keepers on the roster. Roshong, the transfer from West Virginia, also on the roster. I think Hollenbeck's done what she needed to today. I think it's good to take the rest of the day off. You've made some spectacular saves. This is just a Duke team that I can't point at a period in time where they're playing better. This is sublime.
It's been clinical, surgical. They've dissected Mizzou on the defensive end. Their defense has been bruising and stifling. It's been a complete effort. There's still 35 minutes to play in our second half. Missouri, of course, their next match, they have a tough schedule. Texas A&M back in Como. Advantage for Duke, they play on.
That's good officiating, isn't it?
And a corner kick for the Blue Devils.
Could have blown the whistle. Well within the right to blow the whistle. Saw the potential for A, possession, and B, advantage. Waited a second. As an official, and our center tonight has done such a good job of that, just taking in everything that's going on, not just immediately blowing the whistle dead, get a feel for the game. And that time, I mean, it almost worked out for Duke, didn't it?
That one nearly found its way through. Almost touched the grass in the box. Blue Devils not done yet. Low cross, one touch on it, bouncing around. And it's a goal kick. Mizzou dodges danger.
Between scampering was Phillips across the box. Please let me get my hand on it. Fell just past the far bar. Oof, that's one of those deflections that can go anywhere.
Phillips was quick on it as well. So she was in hot pursuit.
It's a good shot from Lynch. Defense doing just enough to put it off.
A complete effort from Duke, 6-0. Blue Devils on the schedule next will take on Clemson on the road. So a road match upcoming for this Blue Devils team. And you have to feel good, of course, from where you're coming. But at the same time, don't want to get complacent when you're going up against some of the ACC mainstays and tough teams. Trapeziak with that out-of-bounds line. And a goal kick from Mizzou. On the flip side of the coin, of course, Mizzou is going to have to lick their wounds and try and shake off what's been a tough performance against a very, very talented Duke team that has played like the better team today.
And you're catching Duke at the wrong time if you're Missouri. Honestly, this is one of the best performances I've seen in college soccer in a very, very good period of time. This is not a poor Missouri team. This is a good Missouri team. They stuck with St. Louis. They were the better team for 30 minutes. They've played Miami. They looked like they were going to dominate Miami over the first 15, and for a 30-minute portion in the second half, you were like, this is absolutely getting equalized. This is a good Missouri team. And I think that you look at the score line, that doesn't even tell the story of how good Duke has been today.
It's been Duke's best performance of the season. It's fair to say that. And Missouri has not been their best. That leads to the score we have now as Brianna Buell comes in for the visitors from Como.
How much space on that far side of the pitch. Duke looking to just own a little bit of possession. Look at that charging run. Chico making the pass out wide and then making the run to stretch the defense.
Now reverse fields, go near side. Lynch with it at her right foot. Crosses it into the box. Good head off. Still not cleared, and now a goal kick for Missouri.
Boy, Duke comes at you from all angles. No place is safe on the pitch. They switch the ball effortlessly. They make it look easy. It's not. Like, to have multiple people on your team that can just flip the ball, pinpoint pass from one side of the pitch to the other, I think the bigger crime is doing it and making it look easy. That's the crime.
It has been effortless from Duke. There's no doubt about it today.
It looks it, but man, that's it. They make the extremely difficult look very easy.
That's the hallmark of a well-coached and quality team. A lot of talent on this club, of course. They have shaken off some injuries and put together their best performance today. Duke angling for another. Plenty of time as they play it into the box. Looking to get ahead on it. Rushing in, can't quite get it as Phillips. Still alive, and a foul on Duke.
60 minutes of flawless soccer, then finally got a foul.
Good looking chance, but she couldn't get gloves on it, Phillips.
Phillips did a great job of getting down, getting at least stretched across to where if it doesn't go into her hands, at least it's not going in the goal.
Phillips is still under siege. There is no off switch for this Duke team. Inside the box, angling to the far post. Duke still with a chance. Missouri will get another goal kick out of this one as wholesale substitutions come in for the Blue Devils. So we talked about some of the recent results for the Blue Devils. That lone loss to Ohio State, that was the opener. And dominant wins, Nebraska, UNCW. The rivalry victory over UNC, that was the statement win, so to speak, ETSU. A game akin to this one, where the Buccaneers had just one shot.
Took a hurricane in Tennessee to stop that matchup, and Tennessee was trying to make it happen, and maybe looking at the other results, you're like, all right.
Might have gotten off on the right end of that one.
No, if I know Tennessee, they want that competition because the SEC is difficult. I mean, they've got some brilliant teams in the SEC, just really top level. So you want to see top level before you get to play the top level. So I joke about it, but if I know Tennessee, oh, what a day.
Freeman will get a well-deserved break. Wasn't too active today, but played her normal blend of strong soccer.
Freshman out of San Diego, California. First touch.
Dysart avoids a little danger. Duke's so good at possession, they'll continue.
This is a nice look to get just a peek at your depth. Now you've had a couple of players go down with injury, and those players that were coming off the bench now on the pitch. So now who do you have on the bench? This is a great chance to get a look at them against good competition.
Opportunity for the Tigers. Duke reclaims possession. Blue Devils get it back once more. How important is it if you're one of the players who doesn't seem normal time on the pitch in a match like this, try and build up those minutes.
I mean, you want to take any chance you can get to go out there and do your thing. It helps build confidence, and you'd want to take any opportunity you get. Now, you don't want to push too much. You don't want to try to make too much happen. You want to play within the system. And if you play successfully within the system, that's when your coaches start looking towards you as somebody who can, oh, okay, the moment wasn't too big. They can come in, they can contribute, they can be part of the team because you stand out because you're in the system and you work the system so well.
That ball was into a sea of Blue Devils. Tigers had a shot for a moment, but nothing more. That's big, trying not to do too much. Just trying to fit into the scheme of those bench players. Duke has already cycled in a handful of substitutions. We're out of bounds, a throw-in upcoming from Missouri. And of course, you want to preserve the clean sheet as well. It feels right after how Duke has played today that they come out of this with the clean sheet. I mean, their defense was stifling, impressive. Name that adjective, they've done it.
And because of how brilliant they were in possession offensively at times, the adjective I'd use was unnecessary.
Wouldn't have thought of that one off the top of my head, but that's an extremely apt adjective in that situation. They really haven't been called upon all that much. I mean, Missouri with 3 shots in total, 2 of which came in the first half. Only 1 has been on goal. Giving up just 1 corner, a couple of fouls. It's been a terrific effort, and they really haven't been needed despite being so rock solid and having a scoreless streak of over 400 minutes.
That was a nice little run.
Tigers trying to put something together, gain some positive momentum for their next match. Texas A&M on the 19th. Back in the friendly confines in Como.
Oh, watch. Oh, you got 2. No?
Missouri is such a cool state. It really is.
Are you talking more St. Louis, or is there a hidden gem in there that you like a little more?
To be honest with you, I'm not a big city guy.
Okay.
I'm from the mountains in North Carolina, and so nothing against the big city.
Sure.
I say, and we're sitting here in Raleigh-Durham, Chapel
Well,
Hill.
sure.
My bad, but
this is an exception, of course. You know, Durham and whatnot. Exception to the
Durham
rule.
is a big little city.
Correct.
I would say it's not a big city. It's a big little city.
That's fair.
And it's got way too, like, the campus here is gorgeous, isn't it? Look at Duke. I was sitting here before the match about 5:30, and I was going over some notes, and I'm looking off to the left and at the spire in the distance, and I'm like, this is a gorgeous campus.
It's picturesque.
Oh, picturesque is such a good word for it.
No, it is a terrific campus in a big little city. Of course, Missouri has its share of those as well. A terrific state, as you mentioned, but the sun setting today at Koskinen Stadium. It's a wonderful campus.
If Missouri wanted us to come get a look at it, I'd go.
Absolutely.
I'd take a peek.
Unquestionably. I've never graced the campus in Columbia. Heard only terrific things.
What a pass. It's so perfectly weighted.
Blue Devils a quick strike. That's the outstretched paw of Phillips.
Took a deflection on the way through. Phillips, that could have gone anywhere, on her toes. I think she had the post covered. I'll take another look to see.
It looked like it grazed that foot of a Tiger defender on the initial shot attempt.
I think Phillips had it covered initially, and I think she had the deflection covered if it did go inside the post.
A 20-3 shot disparity in favor of Duke. He is one-sided as you get. Duke with 18 goals this year. In the first 6 matches, they had 15 goals in 16 matches a season ago. That offense has cranked it up to a new level, 11 goals in the last 2 matches alone.
It's a positional shift. They went from a 4 at the back last year, possession-based, to a 3 at the back, and you've seen the type of soccer they played. That was a strong bit of defending from Missouri. Here's where the defense has done amazing for Duke. Is every time Missouri tries to clear it, they've stifled any options, they've stuffed any runners, they've held the ball in, they've not allowed that pressure release.
It stays with the Blue Devils. That's an unheralded part of what Duke is doing on that defensive end as well. You know, you think about the clears, you think about preventing any work for Freeman when she is in net. But you're exactly right. They've done a great job in that specific field. Set piece opportunity for Duke. Blue Devils will look to tack on yet another. Look to be Lynch taking the free kick opportunity.
Wait a minute, the sophomore defender, Coons Perdikis. You'll notice her, she's a bit taller than most.
Duke has scored a couple times on set pieces.
And she's flanked by about 3 defenders, so Missouri's read that scouting report as well.
Tigers get ahead on it. Ball in the air. Duke doesn't settle it. Instead, they play it in and offside. Phillips was there with a quick pounce. And the Tigers, again, will turn away Duke.
Phillips, you don't wait for the whistle. You don't assume that they're not in an onside position. Ooh. You know what? I think only just. I think Missouri perhaps a bit lucky that Mia Yang didn't hold the attacker onside. But I think the official got it just right.
Missouri looking for a meaningful offensive chance.
Bodensteiner, good solid defense. Hey, when in doubt, kick it out.
Nothing wrong with that as substitutions come in for both sides. Simmons comes off. Mizzou hoping to snap an over 450-minute scoreless streak that this Duke defense has patched together.
McGuire into the matchup for the first time. The Rutgers transfer, tidy little player. Pretty good with the ball at her feet. Dangerous player.
It's another opportunity for a player off the bench. Come in, fit into the scheme, see what they can do. Of course, don't want to do too much, as you said.
Check that. My eyes are bad. That's Devereaux, isn't it? Is that 31? It is 31. That's Devereaux, the freshman. Good look at a freshman. The speed of the game, so different from high school, because in high school, if you're good enough to play at this level, you're that player, right? In your district, you're that player. At this level, everybody was that player.
You go from the big fish in the small pond to suddenly there's lots of big fishes in this big pond.
Everybody's a big fish, and the speed of play is rapid. It is a jump from high school to this level. And what I'm telling you is Mia Devereaux can play at this level. She can, right now, she has that ability to play at this speed, to play with this quality.
Tigers will look to see what they can get from their bench as well. Duke with a 4-0 lead at halftime. Mizzou did tally an own goal in this contest.
Good press.
And a goal kick upcoming. And defense again for Duke, putting the clamps on any chance for Missouri, trying to preserve that clean sheet. Madison Foxhoven will come in. Substitutions continue for the Blue Devils.
Duke played through the middle so well through the first 60 minutes. Now it looked like they were trying to exploit some of the width of the pitch.
That one high in the air, bouncing around. And Missouri will get it on a handball.
Intentional or not, yes. That's when you're using your hand to control the ball, it has to be called. Then Mary Long, the freshman out of Mission Hills, Kansas. getting a look.
Mizzou trying to string something together. As Phillips is a safety valve if they need it. Throw in upcoming.
That intensity from Sonacheva. 6-0 up with about 15 minutes left. Sliding in to stop the pass. Love that intensity.
That clean sheet's important. You can tell. Even to the players that have come off the bench. They want to preserve what this Blue Devils team has achieved on the pitch today, and they've achieved an awful lot.
San Jose Junior, man, big body, and you watch her on the field, she's tenacious. She is a tenacious counter-presser. She doesn't want to give you anything. She wants to take everything in your pocket. She's going to walk away with $1.23 from this conversation. I love that about her.
Never know when they're going to get in and take a little something.
I'm telling you, that's the hallmark of a tenacious player, is they're going to be in your pocket, not giving you anything.
She's a terrific defender. Chance to showcase that further in the second half. Again, Duke up big. Chance on the counter with plenty of space. Couldn't quite thread the needle.
A little Trevelled pass, I like that. Give it a shot.
It goes back to Duke. At this point, you might as well experiment with different things if you can.
100%. See what works, because there's going to be, what if there's another injury hit? I mean, heaven forbid, but what if there is? Now you need to know what else is on that bench. You know, who can come in and keep that intensity.
You saw Rader for just a moment there. Of course, out for the season. That's been announced. A pivotal part of this Duke offense, what they can bring to the table, but they did not miss a beat without her today.
And that speaks to the depth of this team, and a bit heartbreaking for both Coach Church and for Cat Rader. He speaks so highly of the player, of the person. But the season continues, and you have to go and find out who's ready, who wants to step on that pitch and make the difference. And I think Duke's got a couple of answers.
Plenty of answers have come from the starters and the bench today. A lot of impact players. Blue Devils bring it back to the midfield.
Oh, that's just fantastic soccer.
Duke angling for lucky number 7. Crosses it in. Good chest trap. Missouri able to ward that off. Back down the field. Duke again, that back line continuing to put pressure on him. Terrific touch. Right near the box. Sidesteps one Tiger, but not a second.
That was a long covering run by Bodensteiner. Ooh.
Will give away. Missouri a chance. Open opportunity for the Tigers, looking to snap the scoreless streak. Denied once and denied a second time. That ball was bouncing around amongst Duke defenders. The keeper as well. It was close.
Dysart sucking in that second ball, holding on to it. Look at this. The first block, very good, right? Doesn't get too far. Defense scrambling back. Oh, it's blocked by the defender. Bodensteiner gets there, gets a leg up, keeps the scoreless draw, or keeps the clean sheet. Oh my gosh.
A quality opportunity for Missouri. 20-5 still being outshot. Had one in the first half. That was a good chance. They were turned back by Freeman. They had the opportunity there, but they have been few and far between.
Bit unlucky, because if you're Dysart, you got to get that ball. You either have to hold on to it or you got to get it away. Like push that one side or the other, but to block it right back at the attacker. Unlucky for Missouri, they didn't come away with a goal.
Another change for Duke. Bianca Dominguez comes in. three-keeper match for the Blue Devils. That's a sign that something has either gone terrifically right or horribly wrong.
And you never know, right? It's like, if you're on your third keeper, it's either a great day or a bad day, and it's not going to be in between.
Quickly to Dominguez.
That was a confident first touch of the match.
Absolutely. Able to get that right to a defender. And Duke will turn it over as we approach the 10-minute mark. Slowly but surely in half number 2. Duke led 4-0 at halftime. Picked up a couple of quick goals in the second half. And not for lack of trying do they have only 6. They've continued to flex their offensive muscles in the second half.
That's a nice press, good physical press. A little too physical. You didn't let me finish.
Little shove to the back. View of the official.
Maybe a little bit of frustration at work for some, but, you know, trying to go shoulder to shoulder, maybe not so much on that one.
It's the extension.
You get called for that in every sport every time, don't you?
I keep thinking of the chicken wing, perhaps in basketball. They wing that out there. They're going to call it.
I was great at that, let me tell you.
Were you good at it without getting caught? That's the question.
Absolutely. I was, oh, look at this. I thought the day Duke is having, that's top corner, right? Gotta be.
It almost looked that way. There's been plenty of goals today. Do you have a favorite one that kind of comes to mind?
Absolutely, I do. I'm wondering if I should wait till the end of the match because I don't want to jinx it. But yeah, I mean, you got this absolute banger from Grom. Just like, I could watch this all day.
It gets better the more you watch it, I think.
It's a shot that's so sweet you can only watch it after dinner. I mean, it is brilliance. I mean, if you had a green screen and a guy in like the whole green outfit and you just walked it up, it's not going to look any better than that. It is perfect.
Hope to see that in highlight recaps, perhaps, not only for the ACC network, but of course on some other media outlets as well. It was such a terrific touch and strike.
That made me hold my... I leaned back in my chair. If there was a camera that had me in...
Need the in the booth cam here.
In the hysterics, that save from... It was Hollenbach, the right hand across the goal. That had me stand up. But that shot was unreal.
Chance at a 7th. Maybe a late entry. More favorite goal if Duke can scratch across another, but that one's snuffed out quickly. Under 10 minutes to play. And they were off of set pieces to start as well. Duke did a masterful job taking advantage of those opportunities. It felt like on some of those early corners you could tell that with the amount of possession they had, they were going to continue to get those chances. And they had a few with crosses, some that were just right in the box they couldn't convert on. Then one of those was going to go. It was only a matter of when.
And you saw a couple of good saves from Hollenbach. You saw some good defending from the back three. But man, it felt like it was on the way. And then when it was, what an absolute joy it was. The goals in the first half, the first 3 goals, I will never, ever celebrate an own goal. I think it's brutal. But those first 3 goals were high quality.
How much does that hurt a psyche with an own goal? Does that really take some of the wind out of the sails?
I think it depends on the player. It really does. And it depends on the team around you. If you got the right team around you, like Missouri does, they're saying, could happen to anyone, shake it off, we got to play, get your head in the game, let's do this. And you have to. And I think, to Mia Yang's credit, she did just that. She's played very well. Beyond that unfortunate. And a tip onto your foot, I mean, what are you going to do? It's one of those things that you were in the right spot to guard the front of the net, and a bad thing happened. It happens. It's sport. It's unpredictable. And you were doing the right thing when it happened.
Yeah, right place, right time, just an unlucky bounce.
Unlucky is exactly what that is. And you've got the quality of team that will build your confidence back immediately through how they talk to you and their words. I'm sure Hollenbach, shake it off. We got to play. Let's go. And if you're a defender, it's happened. It'll happen, and it's going to happen to you again. That's sort of the unfortunate nature of being a defender is you're going to make a couple mistakes. The problem is when you're a defender, it's not like you shank a shot and it goes 30 feet over the net and you just go get the ball and it's a goal kick, right? It's on the scoreboard if you make a mistake.
Whistle in the box. And Duke will get a penalty kick.
I think you had to. I think this is a great move. Gets a little bit of space. Shoulder to shoulder initially, but coming down and across the back, yeah.
The old grapple hook down to the pitch. Minestrella already with 1 goal today. Chance at a second. Phillips in net. All Blue Devils today. Minestrella gears up and puts it in. How about a brace for Minestrella? Duke up 7-0.
Unlucky for Missouri. I think, if you're Phillips, you're not supposed to stop a penalty. That's not really what you're supposed to do. Oh, it's on the step. On the step, hips are pointing to Phillips' left side. Phillips reads the hips, goes left, and Minestrella pulls through on the plant to send it right. That is, so wicked.
Duke has been so clinical, so fundamentally sound in the many facets of the match today. You saw that graphic a moment ago. Their most goals since November of 21 against St. John's.
This is the dorkiest thing I've ever said. That 1- and 2-touch passing, they put the fun in fundamentals. The dorkiest thing I've ever said. I couldn't stop it, though.
You had to let it out. I mean, I understand.
The dad joke just had to be told.
Play it in once more. Duke not done yet. Fancy footwork and another pass. 2 touches. Lays it off. Cross into the box.
Oh, great header out. Yeah, gotta whistle it down. That's well done. And Missouri, a definitive header inside the 6. They had to get it right.
There's been little stopping Duke today. Mizzou's able to come through with a stop on that possession. But man, Duke's going to look back at the tape. They will be quite pleased with what they see. An all-around team effort. The scoring was spread out. You have, of course, the brace from Minestrella leading the way, but aside from that own goal, Duke tallies 6. The scoring got started from Graham, and it just kept on going from there. Under 5 minutes to play here at Koskinen Stadium. Duke will pick up their 5th win in a row. Flag was up. Dominguez in net, the 3rd keeper used today by the Blue Devils. 2 for Missouri, of course, with Phillips in net now. Blue Devils knocking on the door once again. Under 4 minutes to play. Splits a couple of defenders. Can they make it an 8th goal? Long with it, plays it in. Settled by Duke. They'll let this play, and Mizzou has a chance. Moving the other direction. Sprinting quickly, and that's out of play. When in doubt, kick it out. It's good hustle from the Blue Devils and Bonsteiner.
Bonsteiner's been impressive. And, playing the center of the 3-back. Not only that long, that was half a pitch run to come over and contest, drew the foul, got the possession back, had the save, the secondary save against Devereaux. I know Dysarts was glad to see her.
There's no doubt. Keeping that scoreless streak alive.
Yeah.
We'll have to get out our calculator, our abacus, to try and calculate exactly how many minutes it's been, but you can just about tack on 90 on top of what it was.
When we're looking at Bodensteiner and that run from right around the center of the circle, right? I wonder what her top speed was. Because for anybody on the pitch, she was moving, but she's a defender. Defenders, whether it's right or not, we assume they're a little slower than the attackers, right? We assume. Maybe not true. Kyle Walker, maybe the exception. But, like, she was moving.
She was. She was gliding down the field, able to push that out of bounds, keep this scoreless streak alive. As you see, it's been over 484 minutes. That is an eye-popping total. Just under 2 minutes to play. Missouri will try and scratch one across for cosmetic purposes, but it'll be nothing more than that.
At what point do you think that streak becomes ostentatious? Do you think it's 500, 600 minutes? When does it become like, okay, it's a bit much?
I think maybe once you get to we're talking lofty numbers here. You're talking four figures. You're talking the 1,000 point.
I'm with you. That's what I had in my head. It's 1,000. I said once it gets to 1,000, something's got to stop.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
This is ridiculous.
Then it just becomes no one has scored since the opening match, and trying to do that type of math is just mind-bending. You know, you need your multiplication tables. You need everything. You got to write it out on paper. I mean, it's a lot.
If I got to get an abacus out, it's too many minutes.
That's what I'm saying. That's my thought. I left mine in the car, you know. I didn't think I'd need it. "60 seconds to play at Koskinen Stadium. A full, thorough effort from this Duke team. Their 5th win in as many matches. Nearly 500 minutes without allowing a goal. In every facet of the match, Duke excelled. Missouri, on the other hand, will look to regroup. They take on Texas A&M. Back in Columbia, Missouri, 7 p.m. a week from today. Duke, on the other hand, will take on the Clemson Tigers a week from today as well on the road.
Just pop on 85, take it down to South Carolina. Quick little trip.
And with the fans that are in attendance today, you'd have to think many of them will be willing to make that trip.
All right, I'll go. I'm in. When is it? I'm in. I want to see this again.
We'll get you there, and we'll get you to Columbia, Missouri one of these days as well. It's 7-0. What a performance from the Blue Devils. Dominance in every facet. Final thoughts on this one from what was just